Creative Magic Club. What's up? This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a six-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I am here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi everyone, Sarah Mack here. Welcome back to the Creative Magic Club podcast. It's Pisces season, and today I'm going to share kind of a mini masterclass on creative process and money-making content. I'm going to share some epic content prompts with you that are going to bring out all the good juices of the season and inspire you to create your most amazing, magnetizing, soulmate client attracting content over the coming weeks. So I honestly didn't even notice that we'd moved into Pisces season until recently, because I've been in a real creative flow and I'm like, oh yeah, obviously I'm in Pisces season right now because my creativity has been flowing. I've been doing some deep work with like energy healing work, which, you know, I'm always dabbling in, but I started to go a little bit deeper in recent weeks. And that makes total sense because that's what Pisces is all about. And I've been doing a deep dive with my astrology and discovering some really cool stuff. I'm developing some really exciting new things for you and just making astrology more and more a part of my business and my work with clients and helping you to tap into your soul message in your brand, bringing that through into your content in really, really powerful, magnetic, authentic, and aligned ways so that you can attract the people that you're meant to work with more and more power and ease and consistency. So I'm having a great time over here. How are you doing? So one theme that's been coming up for me lately is fire and water. And Pisces obviously is a water sign. It's all about the emotions, something that I've had a very contentious and challenging relationship with in my life that I've more recently come to realize has a lot to do with the fact that I have a lot of planets in the 12th house in Leo. So I've got a lot of fire and water, and my other two planets that I have in water in Scorpio in an actual water sign are Pluto and Saturn. And I've been doing a lot of work with them more lately. And, you know, they've really been a big catalyst in my work and in my business and in my brand message and the type of work I'm doing with clients and the stories that I've been sharing to attract clients. And that's like a very challenging placement, right? Pluto in Scorpio and Saturn in Scorpio. It's a lot of transformation, trauma, and death and rebirth and going through it and being in the mess and letting everything all crumble down so that it can be reborn, which has just been very freaking painful many times over, to be perfectly honest with you. And with I've got my Sun and Mars and Mercury in Leo in the 12th house. So there's that push-pull between wanting to be seen, wanting to be the big bright sun shining and beaming out into the world, getting all the attention, and then that Pisces energy of the 12th house wanting to be behind the scenes, like going deep and being in all of the emotion and flowing with that. So that's something that I'm learning more about and finding more harmony in my relationship with my emotion and with the watery elements of my being and of my personality and of my life. And it's something that's really shown up for me a lot in my content creation process and in learning to create consistent sales in my business through content strategy. And I'm sure a lot of you will resonate with this, right? There's this push-pull between I just want to create, I want to express myself, I want to be seen, I want to contribute, I want to connect through the work that I'm creating, and I want to be unlimited and unleashed and not have any restraints when I create. And that's one of the things I love most about social media is really that immediacy with which we get to have an idea or feel something, put it into writing or words or images and hit publish and immediately have that work reach people and impact people and begin, real conversations that are taking shape and evolving and changing you and changing me and creating relationships and opportunities to work together and making money too, right? And copywriting is a very specific way of writing. The way that, if you learn copywriting from me and probably from most teachers, the original kind of category of this type of writing is known as direct sales copywriting, which is where people read what you have to write. And then the purpose of that piece of content is for them to take action and is for them to go and click buy and purchase your product or your offer or your service or whatever it is that you're inviting people to. Because if this copy doesn't lead to an action, it's not sales copywriting. It could just be, it might have another intention, or it could just be a piece of writing, or it could just be a piece of creative expression. And so when I understood this, obviously my goal for my business was to make money and to serve people doing it. So I made every single piece of content that I put out a piece of direct sales copywriting. Everything had a call to action on it. And there's, different degrees that I've played with this, because self-expression and writing creatively is a big part of where I get my joy and my energy and also my service in my business. And I do believe that, putting stuff out there, allowing people to connect with you and see you and feel you and get to know you and build trust with you, that's still serving a purpose, even if that content doesn't lead directly to somebody buying from you. However, it doesn't work to create sales when you just express yourself for you in your social media content. And, my background in writing is I was writing a lot of academic papers for my master's in film. So that was like philosophy and theory. And then after that, I was writing a lot of poetry. Like I've written for theatre in the past. I've always loved poetry. My background is really theatre and poetry. That's the main type of writing that I engaged with growing up. And poetry was the main way I was expressing myself when I went on to start my business. And I love writing in poetry and I love expressing myself emotionally. And there's many times where I've written in that way, and I can tell you that it doesn't lead to sales. And there's a way to really bring these two parts together to find a happy medium where you're feeling creatively expressed in your marketing content, because at the end of the day, that is the job of your content on social media. It's to market your services and your presence and your brand and to grow your visibility and let people know that you're there and stay top of mind and reach people and educate people about what you have to offer. And, obviously you're out there on the socials. You can see that there's a very, very wide spectrum of how people are doing this, using their creativity and developing brands and brand awareness and selling things. There's so many different strategies. And you'll notice that more established brands tend to veer away from this very specific type of direct sales copywriting because they don't need it anymore. The point that you get to where you don't need to create that type of content on it anymore is where you have a big pool of an established audience who already knows you, who already likes you, and who already trusts you and wants to buy from you. And that's the power of an established brand. But when you're in the early stages of business, like the first 10 years, which is the majority of the clients that I work with, you're building that audience still. You're developing your voice, you're developing your brand and evolving what you stand for and how you communicate that, and educating people about who you are, what you stand for, what your vision is, how you can help them, and, really how good you are at doing those things and establishing your authority and your credibility and all of these things that you've heard 10,000 million times out there on the internet from people who are telling you how to run your business. So this is just important to remember, because I think a lot of the time we compare ourselves to brands who are much, much, much further along than us. And we try to copy or emulate strategies that are not appropriate for the phase of business that we're in. So, and maybe you've been in business for a while, but you're pivoting and you're starting to work with a different client, or you're starting to bring other aspects of yourself into your work, like more of your intuitive gifts or a new modality that is kind of new and different. And so it's really important to be in that phase of very, very, very clearly communicating what it is that you can do for your client. And you can absolutely express yourself in creative ways. And, there really need not be any limits on your brand and your creative self-expression between you and your audience. And absolutely, your business gets to be a vehicle for your creative growth and fulfillment. But if you want to make money, and if you want to make money consistently, and if you want to increase your income and increase your impact, in an intentional, powerful, consistent, and fast way, then direct sales, copywriting, understanding those ways of communicating is really the tool to get good at that's going to produce those results for you. And I definitely experienced a lot of blurred lines between the two at different phases in my business, particularly, as I've evolved who I am, as I've evolved who I work with. I've tried out launching different offers. It's something I'm constantly in negotiation within myself, because I do get so much creative fulfillment from my business. And I do get financial fulfillment and all of the things that a business should produce as a bottom line. And I think when you're a creator and you're a personal brand, there's always going to be a wobbly line between those two things, because it is such a big part of your own creative self-expression, and it's always growing, and that you do get so much fulfillment from it beyond the money that you're getting and the client relationships and the impact and the service. So I think it's really important to speak to this tension between creativity and sales strategy, and knowing that you can be really creative with your sales strategy as long as you really deeply understand how to work the principles that when you do this, it leads to income. So you really can use your creativity in a strategic and targeted way to produce specific results. And like any creative project, whether you're making money or whether you're working towards your next masterpiece in whatever medium you work in, there's going to be moments where it's uncomfortable. It's going to involve growth. It's going to involve vulnerability. But that's really the only path to the reward and the fulfillment and the self-expression, and really fulfilling your purpose by fulfilling your vision and leading to the results that you desire. So you've got the sales way of writing, which is really leaning on clarity, right? Effective sales copy is really, really, really clearly speaking to a very specific person for the very specific offer that sells a very specific result, especially when you're selling high ticket, right? And especially when you're selling high touch mentorship, like one-on-one coaching, or, live group coaching programs where you're going to be hands-on supporting different types of people who are all working towards the same or a very similar result. So copywriting is really the tool that allows you to translate what that is into clear communication that does the selling for you. And the more creative approach to content, it's like that push-pull between the poet version of me and the copywriter version of me. Like the poet version of me just wants to write in metaphors and feeling words and abstract ideas and, words kind of pushed together or like strung together in ways that don't necessarily have a lot of clarity, right? That's poetry. But it can tap us into emotion and feeling and create sensations in our body and connection. That's also really, really powerful as a writing tool. So, like, I think the perfect content pulls from both of those things. Like, the clarity has to be there if it's going to make you sales, right? But sometimes the emotion if you write from a place of pure emotion and you really move people with what you're writing, like that can open the door to connection that can lead to a conversation that can end up in a sale or a client relationship, right? So both of these things are powerful. And I think there's a spectrum. Sometimes I'll write from my heart, just everything that I'm feeling, really go into the emotion, really like, I think the thing that's common with both of these styles of writing is the more detailed the specifics, the more powerful the writing is. Like that's just always a constant with writing. The more it's those little specific details that really anchor people into your writing, that put them in that story, that make them feel something, that move them with your words. So when you can move people, when you can touch their emotion with a story that you're sharing, and then redirect them to take action in a way that's going to benefit them and lead them to what it is that they desire through your work, through working together, through buying your offers, that's like the sweet spot. Hey, I have a really exciting new free series that I want to make sure you know about. It's called Sign Soulmate Clients with Astrology. And I created this because when I work with clients using their astrology charts, they stop trying to sell offers in a way that feels like pushing a boulder up a hill. They start selling what they're really excited to offer. They raise their rates, often doubling them. And soulmate clients start showing up more quickly and easily than ever, which is why I'm so thrilled to share this special 3-part training series with you to show you how to read specific parts of your chart to cut the drama of overthinking your storytelling and your prices and cut straight to the actions and insights that lead to signing soulmate clients consistently with ease month after month. So when you sign up, you're going to get instant access to video number 1, which is all about signing soulmate clients by selling from your sun sign. Video number 2 is about tapping into your sales flow through your second house. And video number 3 is going to show you how to create your unique ritual for consistent clients and money flow. You don't need to know anything more than your birth time, date, and place, and I will show you what you need to know about your birth chart. This is for anyone looking to create a more consistent flow of sales from soulmate clients. And you can find this by going to my website withsarahmac.com under the freebies tab, or by the link in my bio on my social channels. So I've written, just like really from the heart, pure self-expression. Like I just have to share this. And I'm not strategically thinking how I'm going to turn that into a sales pitch. And I'll literally just slap a call to action on the end of it. I'll use a bridging sentence, like whatever the main theme of that story was that I just told, I'll turn that into, do you want this? Like this particular aspect of the transformation. I know that this is something that I'll turn it around to connect it back to the reader. Like this is something that you want. This is something that you have been going through. And I know what it is that you need next. This is how I can help you. This would be the next step that I would suggest. Download my thing, sign up, reach out, let's have a conversation, let's get on a call. Whatever your call to action is, that's going to move them to take action, to, take the next step in your relationship, get to know you, see if it's going to be a good fit to work together. And then you can direct them to, a very strategic piece of direct sales copywriting that is a sales page, or on an email news sequence, or get them into your DMs and guide them through a conversation. So there's another approach that I want to talk about that has worked really well for me and my business, which is to, express myself in my life in the ways that feel good to me, in the ways that are calling me creatively, and then to capture them and repackage them as content, combined with sales copy that, again, allows people to connect to me at a deeper level, because I'm showing those deeper layers of me. I'm showing emotion. I'm showing things I value. I'm showing things I care about. I'm showing me living my life. I'm being me. I'm expressing myself for who I am authentically, how I'm living day to day. And then either telling it as a story, or like literally capturing it on camera as a photo or as a video, and then using that as the context and the background through which to talk about my work and how I can help people. So centering yourself in your storytelling is just really the fastest path, number one, to build connection, which is the fastest path to leading to people to buy from you. Number two, building authority by demonstrating your expertise through you just being who you are and showing how you embody the work that you teach and sell. And through becoming relatable and empowering people. So when people see you doing something that they want to do, and they see that you're a human being, you're imperfect, you have flaws, things don't always go perfectly for you, that allows your people to see, oh, she's just like me in many ways, and she's doing what I want to do, which makes me believe that it's possible for me, with more depth, with more conviction, with more certainty. And that's going to move people to want to buy from you even faster. So some ways that I do this, I'll give you an example. I made a reel the other day where I was dancing. I don't usually do the typical quote unquote dancing reel with the pointing and all of that stuff, but I'm a dancer. Like, I grew up dancing. Dancing is probably my first passion in life. And I don't dance as much as I used to. I used to dance a lot and I miss it. And from time to time, when I get the urge, and I think I'd just had a particularly tough morning. I was on a really long call with my web developer, and, just overcoming a really annoying back-end problem that kind of derailed my morning. And I was like, I could be stressed about this. I could feel down around this and feel feelings of frustration, or I'm just going to dance this out and move on with my day, and like move on to the next section of my day in a positive way, feeling good, tapping back into my passion and inspiration. And dance is one of my favorite tools to do that. So I was already dancing, and I was just in the zone. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to capture this moment. Like, this is a teachable moment. So I captured it. I told the story, and I don't remember what the call to action is that I put on that, but whatever it is I was promoting at that time, I would have put the call to action, whether it was engagement, whether it was to download my freebie, or whether it was to inquire about one of my offers. So same thing with behind the scenes stories. I'm just taking pictures of my day-to-day life. Like, I don't need to construct a whole concept for images that I want to produce. I just turn my camera on my day-to-day life, capture the moments, pull out the story or the lesson or the topic that relates to my clients about that aspect of my life, and then turning that into a story which connects back to what I'm selling, which connects back to a call to action for how they can take action to get what it is that I'm talking about and presenting to them. So I want to share some prompts that are going to allow you to explore the watery, boundaryless realm of Pisces and the push and pull between creativity and desire and intuition and going with the flow and really leveraging the power of your creativity and of your impulses, while also helping you to channel that into a way that is not going to sidetrack you from having that consistency of consistent clients, consistent sales, consistent fulfillment and flow in your business. That really comes from, having those boundaries and those clear intentions that you come back to, that are the borders that, you can expand, you can overflow, you can go wild as much as you want, but knowing where those boundaries are to come back to, so that you don't just flow off in a completely random direction and you don't know, where that's going to lead. Like, you just flow down an estuary that you haven't been down before. And sometimes we want to do that, right? But we also want to have that safe place to come back to, and knowing that I can leave and I can go off on a creative adventure. I can try something new. I can follow an impulse. I can express myself in new ways, and I can still create stability and support and income and clients in ways that feel really good and support me, so that when I'm flowing off in new directions, I'm doing it from a place of safety, or I'm taking risks from a place of, I know that I'm going to come back home to a place of support, versus I don't freaking know where I'm going to end up and this could be dangerous, right? Like, I'm sure, you might have moments in time that are popping up for your life when you've been there and you've done that and you've taken risks and it hasn't worked out so well and it hasn't felt good. And, both in life and business. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we do have the power to create boundaries that feel really freaking good over and over and over again. And that can be really, really, really strong. We can have both. And then we can have the space to flow and be in our creativity and to adventure and go wild. So my first prompt is, how do I love to play creatively and express myself in my life? So make a list, and that can be anything from cooking to dancing, singing, gardening, writing, like organizing your home, like coloring in, doing something with your kids. How do you love to play creatively? And then after you've made that list, ask yourself to brainstorm, how can I capture that or make it the foundation of my message in my sales content in some way? So this can be anything from, I'm going to capture photos, I'm going to take a little video or a time lapse, or, when I'm doing that thing next, I'm going to capture it and just show people what I'm doing. And I'm going to tell a story from that place, or even just, having that awareness throughout your day as you're exploring and being creative, looking for the lessons, looking for how you're embodying your work, how you are, living your lessons, living and stepping more deeply into your truth and your values that connect to your brand and the work that you do with your clients. And what's moving you, like, our life is the raw material for our content. So pull out the stories, share what moves you, and find a way to turn that into a call to action. Find a way to connect it back to working with you and how your work benefits your clients, and share a powerful call to action. And just notice that balance between, sometimes we do just need to write a pure sales email or a pure informational post about an offer, an expiring deadline. Here are the benefits, here where you should work with me, like a big, bold piece of sales content. And other times we can just play in the realm of emotion and connection and engagement and showing people and letting people get to know us, and just having that consistent invitation to take action and to work with you. The next prompt is, what topics or stories have you been feeling the intuitive nudge to talk about lately. So I always love to just notice the themes that are coming up for me, and turning that into content. It's really the easiest way to be in creative flow with your content creation, where you don't have to think too much about it. You don't have to strategize too much about it, but you can, and I see this pattern with my clients all the time. As soon as they step into launching a program around a topic, you bet they're going to start facing challenges in their own life around that topic. It's just like the universe is inviting us into our next level of mastery, which always happens when we teach, right? So pay attention, particularly to the stuff that doesn't feel good, the sticky things, the growth lessons. This is really, really, really powerful content and storytelling to be sharing with your offers, to show your credibility, to build trust, to be relatable, and to teach and learn and grow both for you and for your audience and your clients. So really pay attention to those nudges, especially when it's uncomfortable. And I challenge you to take a risk and try writing some of that content and just see what happens. Usually this is the type of content that really lands with people, that really, results in people being like, oh my God, that really spoke to me. I need to know more about how to work with you. And my final content prompt for you is, what supportive boundaries could I put in place in my content creation process? Again, coming back to this push-pull between the creative expression and, the targeted, consistent actions that lead to consistent sales in your business. Have you been overindulging in the creative expression aspect of your content process, where you're getting all the likes, or you're getting all the comments and engagement, or you're just having so much fun in creating and expressing yourself, but you've actually been dropping the ball and not consistently inviting people to buy, and your sales are taking a hit as a result of that? Or maybe you've been overcomplicating it, or you've not actually been asking for the support that you need to be able to maintain that consistency. So maybe it's actually taking less time to produce your content and really developing your process so that I can crank out the content that I need to in 10 to 20 minutes a day. And that's what allows me to be really consistent, and that's what builds the momentum, and that's what leads to better and better sales results. Or maybe you actually have been so focused on strategy and learning and selling, but it's kind of got a little dry, or you've lost your spark, or you feel like you're going through the motions. And actually what you need is more space to play creatively, more time to have an adventure, to explore, to live your life and fill yourself up with inspired ideas, and then allow that freshness and that juice to run into your content. So go and journal on these. I can't wait to hear what comes up for you. I've been thinking about these things a lot lately, and I have some really exciting things that I'm launching, which I'm biting my tongue because I just want to tell you all about them now, but they're still in development. So stay tuned and go and check out my latest reel on my Instagram, Creative Magic Club. The one that says 5 things you need to know about running an online business, where I go a little bit more into this last topic. That will really, a few things that it's just important to remember that will really help you to elevate your content so it's consistently attracting amazing clients and making you money, and, honoring yourself in the process and finding the process that works for you. And it's so individual because we're all so different. But there definitely are some key themes that apply to everybody. And if you haven't already, definitely check out last week's episode where I break down how I helped a client to launch a new group program and sales page, which led to 20 applications within 48 hours of going live. And then she went on to have a 6-figure launch. People have just been loving this episode. So definitely go and check that one out if you haven't already. And stay tuned for all the exciting things that I have coming up. And I would love to know, did this episode land with you? How is Pisces season for you? Come and drop into my DMs. I want to hear from you. Share your content with me that was inspired by this conversation so I can love up on it and learn more about what you're up to. I want to know what came up for you around these journal prompts. So please reach out and connect. And as another reminder, I would so appreciate it if you would go over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review to support the podcast so that this content can reach more people. I am so grateful and appreciative to you for being here, and I will be back with more next week. I'm sending you so much love. Have an amazing week. Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.